Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the Permaculture Consultant, and today is super exciting because I'm putting a big dent in this brush pile back here, and I'm turning it into charcoal. Now, you're probably thinking, hold up, I clicked on a video that's talking about biochar, and you're right. We'll eventually make biochar, but the first step of the process is charcoal. Now, the big difference between biochar and charcoal is biochar has been inoculated with microbes. It's very, very important to inoculate your charcoal with microbes, or else it's really not going to serve a function in your soil. It's going to take super long for them to just naturally be inoculated. So you need to do that process on the front end before you apply it to your soil. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to inoculate your biochar. I saw some really good methods in the video I talked about it last. It wasn't the last video, but it was the last video that I talked about making this stuff. Let me show you real quick the setup that I have so far. Over here, as you can see, is my wood pile. I got the brush back here. I got the logs in front. They need to get moved on down over there into the staging area. This log I did mill, and this is gonna come in handy for a different method of making biochar. I milled this with the chainsaw. As you can see, the chainsaw marks and stuff. Not too good at it with the chainsaw, but I'm getting better. This will come in handy for a different method. But what I did was take some of the larger branches, cut them into chunks, as you can see, these two piles right here, and I started stuffing that barrel over there with it. This brushy stuff is going to be used for fuel to light around the barrel, and it's whatever's left after today is going to get turned into biochar using a different method with those planks right there. That'll all make sense later. But today, the main focus is showing you that these chunks, those and those, all went into this barrel. And it looks further away than it is on camera. You might be thinking, like, why is your barrel so far away? And it's really not that far away. It's a good distance away. I don't want any of this fire to accidentally catch any of that stuff on fire. So there's that. Take those chunks and then you stuff your barrel with it. In this method, I mean, there are other methods where you put like a smaller barrel inside this one, fill that up with these chunks, and then you light a fire around that barrel. That's perfectly fine. That's all well and good, but I have a lot of brush to get rid of, so I'm going with the more inefficient route, if that makes sense, because I do have so much brush to get rid of. In the bottom of this barrel, I'll try to show you. Probably should have filmed this before, but in the bottom of this barrel, hopefully you saw that single hole that's in the bottom. After this is full, I'm gonna put this lid and this gasket around, and I want to make an airtight seal. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as airtight as you can get with the singular hole down in the bottom. And then I will build a fire around this, and I'm basically going to burn all day long because I have so much brush to get rid of, and I used pretty big chunks in the barrel, and it's a pretty big barrel to turn into charcoal. So I'm going to put the lid on there, put the gasket on there, build a fire around it, and I'm going to try to keep this little window open going through that way, because you'll notice as this fire gets going, as this barrel gets heated up and everything, you'll see a little flame coming out of that hole out of the bottom. Those are the wood alcohols that are burning off of this wood. Now, it's going to take a little bit longer because this is all pretty green wood. So the first thing that has to go is the moisture out. And then after the moisture's gone, then the wood alcohols will start burning. When I notice that there is no longer a flame coming out of there, then I know all the wood alcohols are gone, and what I have left in this barrel is a carbon product. This process is called destructive pyrolysis. You also, whenever you're packing this barrel, I mean, it's pretty tight in there. As you go up the layers, you want to pound some of these in just to make sure you have a super tight fit. You want to limit the amount of oxygen that's in this barrel, because if you have oxygen in there, then you're not going through pyrolysis anymore. got somebody yelling in the background. You're not going through pyrolysis anymore. You're just burning the wood. You're going through combustion, which isn't exactly what you want in this process. Now, a little tip, if you are using green wood for your barrel, the smaller the pieces you make, the faster this process will go. Like, you probably don't even want any chunks this big in your process, or in your barrel, because it's going to take quite a while for the moisture to release from the wood and for it to go through the whole process. I don't necessarily care as much in this application because I have so much fuel I have to go through. So just keep that in mind. The smaller the pieces, the faster this whole process goes. Now, yesterday I spent some time over here just burning and getting some dry wood ready, which is this pile over here. I got some of this dry wood ready for today's process. A lot of this stuff that I'm using is straight up green. Like, it hasn't been down for more than 2 weeks. So there's still a lot of moisture content in there. It's gonna take a lot of effort to get this fire really going, but it's okay because I have a ton of fuel over there, and I have way more fuel coming because I have more trees to drop. There are trees that are dropped that need to be stripped, brought over here, and continuing the whole process. And to be completely 100% honest with you, I am not going through this trouble for the express purpose of having biochar. I really don't care much about biochar. It's not as effective as a lot of people think it is. It is handy and giving a home to the microbes. So if you live in a subtropic or a tropical environment, then biochar is really, really handy because most of your soil life is above the ground as opposed to in the ground. But anywhere else, most of your life is above the ground as opposed to in the ground. I think it's like a 90%, 10% split. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. As you start moving towards your temperate and arid environments, more and more of your life is in the ground. So you don't really need to provide so much of a habitat for it in the case as you do in the tropical environment. So this is a temperate, almost Mediterranean environment. This is East Texas. And there's just a lot of potential for soil life in the ground. I don't necessarily have to provide it homes. I just need to give it the right environment for the microbes to thrive. I will do a video in the future talking about the importance of microbes and why nitrogen-based fertilizers, petroleum-based fertilizers, all that stuff is ruining your soil. It's a slow process. Your plants are actually growing despite the fertilizers you're adding to the soil. That's a whole different video. We'll talk about that in the future. Right now, I'm just making charcoal, and the whole reason I'm making charcoal is because it's going to be one of the best supplements I can give to the pigs that I'm getting from the Texas boys here soon. And that's also going to be how I inoculate this charcoal into biochar, by feeding it to pigs. If it goes through the digestive tract of a pig, it's going to pick up all kinds of beneficial microbes and all that stuff. As it comes out the other end and they poop, it's just going to go to the soil, go through the composting process, and it's going to become part of the soil. So in return, the soil will become better. And I'm going to get off camera because the truck is coming.
Drop my burdens here. I think it's time that I just learn to trust in you. Find that mercy seat, and my circle's complete. In the deepest night, your burden in such light. Think I'm gonna mercy seat, and my circle's complete.
All right, so it's been about 5 hours since since I started this fire, and you can see there's quite a bit of steam coming out of the top of the barrel. Now that's not a completely airtight seal right there, but you can see quite a bit of steam coming out. That's all the moisture and well, right now it's moisture that's being pushed out of the wood right now. You need to get all the moisture out first, and then it'll start burning the wood alcohols out of the wood. That stuff, the burning of the wood alcohol will actually come out of the bottom of the barrel. But right now, what you're seeing is the steam. I know once I stop seeing that steam come out of the barrel, then I'm getting closer to the charcoal stage. All right, so as you can see, we're approaching sunset over there. I started this at 10 a.m. and gone through pretty much all my brush. I'm just burning some of the grass and stuff that was over there, nothing major. Some of the small twiggy stuff. Definitely have burned this long enough, hot enough, but I am going to let it completely burn out. It's probably going to go through the night, and then in the morning I will come back and check on it. Not that I'm leaving it anytime soon, so don't worry about that, but I will come back and check on it in the morning and show you guys the results. Alrighty, it is the next morning. I let it go all through the night. Let's go ahead and pop the lid open and see what we got inside. It is still definitely warm. That's for doggone sure. Yeah, that's still warm. Let me grab a shovel. Oh yeah, that is still quite toasty. Dang. Trying to get a place where I can stand without catching my shoes on fire. Oh yeah. One continuous clip so the trolls don't think I'm cheating. That's charcoal. Bam, right there. Some really big pieces too. Perfect. Look at this. This is just a satisfying little feeling right here, or sound. See that? That's straight up charcoal. That's so satisfying. Check this out. See if you guys can hear this. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but it's a very satisfying sound. All right, so just like that, got 55 gallons worth of charcoal. Now, remember, I'm not going to go through the process of turning. This is not biochar yet. This is still just charcoal. The difference between charcoal and biochar is that biochar has been inoculated with microbes. If you put this into your soil right now, it's probably going to do more harm than good. But what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to inoculate this charcoal, is through the stomach of a pig. Charcoal is an amazing mineral supplement for your pigs, and a lot of the times when pigs get sick or have any issues, it's because they're lacking minerals. This is going to solve this, along with sea kelp, is going to solve a lot of issues that can pop up with pigs, but they just never will because they have the awesome mineral supplement right here. And also, guys, remember, like, biochar is not the solution to every issue in your garden. No, the solution to every issue in your garden is compost. I completely wiped out like 99% of my brush pile over here. So before I do another, the second method of biochar, I'm gonna have to drop more trees. But I'm definitely gonna let those branches dry quite a bit before I do that, before I light that fire, because that pile over there just took forever to to get lit. But the next project is going to be working on this garden area, and these posts, a lot of these logs that I've cut up and cleared are going to be helpful in this garden area, so stick around for that. Now, as far as finishing up this batch of charcoal, the only thing I'm going to do is put it in a dry container, like this little blue guy right here. Probably put it in something with a lid, and then put it in the storage container and just wait for pigs, basically. If you're worried about the area that I burned in, it's okay. This is going to be part of the drive-through area for the barn in the future, so it's not a big deal that I turned this into basically pottery with all this heavy clay. There's definitely less moisture over here, so that's good. I'm not going to grind anything up or anything like that, just the small pieces I'll give to the chickens. I just throw the large pieces directly to the pigs, and they'll crunch on it and eat what they want and leave whatever they don't need. So yeah, guys, don't forget Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival, March 23rd and 24th. I'll be teaching 2 classes there. I'll link it down in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.